this is Natalie from 9.arrow from the Netherlands, and I'm here with part 2 working on the slimline journal. In the previous video I created 2 signatures with these papers, but I don't know what happened over here. I think this needs to be over here. I splitted these and made 3 signatures because I'm going to create a elastic binding in here with 3 elastics. I also did some stitching around the cover and around the borders. Well, around the borders of the cover. And I had a real struggle. That's why I haven't made any videos for the past couple of 2 weeks. I don't know what happened, but first it was my printer not working. I purchased a new printer, but suddenly the HP instant ink description guy that I contacted from the help desk said, well, I can send you new inks which do work in my old printer. So now I have a new printer while my old one is still working, although the old one is not able to update, so I have 2 printers now. But after that I wanted to sew. I was over here working on that slimline journal. I wanted to sew, and I found out my sewing machine didn't work because I was sewing on a huge project for a holiday we celebrate here in the Netherlands. It's called a surprise, and you make a surprise gift in shape of I made a huge journal. And I was sewing the fabric on that huge journal, and I messed up my sewing machine. So I spent like 4.5 hours working on my sewing machine, and I managed to get it fixed, but I had to take out every screw that was in there and follow the thread where the thread was, well, it was tearing up, and then it breaks every time. So every single time I was sewing, it was starting to break. I'm not sure if you can see anymore. No, I don't think you can see. But over here, I had like 300 punches of the needle, but no thread. But I finally managed to sew around the cover, and I did a messy stitching. I did a combination of a straight stitch, and a zigzag stitch. Over here some stitches are missing, but I'm not going to bother too much because I think that part will be covered, as I need to reinforce the spine to be able to put in elastics. Now I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on the outside though, because I'm starting to think about it. I have a piece of cardstock over here. This is the same cardstock that I use for the cover, so it's not very sturdy. I can do 2 things. I can put the signatures in here and glue it in, but then the elastic will not be able to be tightened or loosened, which is not a real problem though, because when it's set, it's set. But this is very thick material to put the eyelet through, so if I want to punch it through here and let it come out over this side, it's not going to work. So I thought, okay, I need to do something else. I found cardstock that is the backside of a paper pad, and obviously I cut it to size almost, because it's not exactly the width of the spine, but it's only for the inside. It doesn't have to be the exact size. And like I said, I'm trying, I think I will put it over here and then cover it with some fabric or something, and maybe I need to double. And still this is thinner than this and more sturdy, but also I want to add, like, I have a feeling this is not straight. Every time I use the paper cutter from Tim Holtz, it doesn't matter if I use the small one or the big one, I always end up with a, well, not straight piece. And I think it has something to do with pressing the handle. One moment, I have to recut. I'm pretty sure I'm not completely in frame, but I think it has something to do with pressing this piece down when you are cutting. Because as you can see, is it straight or is it not straight? No, it's not straight. I don't know. It seems not straight. Okay, this one might be straight. Where's the other one? I was talking about this one. I don't know. Let's give it another go. It's just a tiny piece that I cut off. Maybe that will make the difference. I'm not sure. But I am going to put this. Still don't know. I think on the inside is best. Sorry, changing my mind. Oh. I am having issues with the glue tip. Another issue I have to solve. Okay, I sort of fixed it, but the glue tip was well, stuck to the lid. It has a protection pin, and both of them were on the lid. Yeah. Okay, maybe I fixed it. I don't know. We will see. I'm just going to glue these two pieces together. So nothing fancy so far. Now it is important to measure where you want your eyelets to be. And what I usually do is I take a sheet of paper. I'm just going to fold it. Oh, this is a sticker sheet. Let me grab another piece. Oh, this is just a sheet of regular coffee dye, not coffee dye, copy paper. I'm so confused today. And I'm just going to fold these. Oh, sort of like the width of this cardstock thing. You could measure, of course. I'm not going to do that. I don't like measuring. And I'm just going to fold this part over. And like I said, it doesn't have to be exact. As long as one side is what you want. Where is my scissor? So I'm just going to cut off the excess paper over here. And like I said, it is not the exact same size as the reinforcement piece, but that doesn't matter. Well, let me just quickly put some tape on here. So you have this piece. And what I usually do is fold this like so. So the corners meet. Then fold it a little like so. Maybe first fold this one. So you create sort of an edge. And I only have to do it on one side. And then I also need to fold this one in half. And what you create is, maybe I should mark it. You have a line over here. then you can put an eyelet over here and an eyelet over here and an eyelet over here. Obviously I'm going to eyeball these two, but if you do this, then the top punch of your spine is going to be the exact same as the bottom punches on your spine. So let me grab my pokey tool. And with the eyelet setter that I have, this is the We Are Memory Keepers. This is the crocodile. You always have these setting tools. So what I can do is eyeball the middle. And I'm going to go as close as I can to the edge. So not over here, but as close as possible to the edge. I'm going to set it, sort of, not punch already, but set the mark. And now I'm going to punch, but I see this is, yeah, now I need to. So I have this one. And now I'm going to poke the other one. And what happens when you set this piece, they all line up over here. And now I have 3 holes on both sides. And this can be my guide. So I can punch 3 over here and 3 over here. Obviously I need to punch them in here. So what I'm going to do next is line up this part. And I'm going to punch again. And if all goes well, your punches are sort of lined up. Without really doing a lot of measuring. Oh, sorry for the noise. But you do need to clear the peekaboo hole where you can see where you need to punch. Otherwise it is extremely difficult to see where you need to punch. And I'm going to do the same over here. Start in the middle. Like so. Oh, over here I missed. I didn't see that. But that is not going to be an issue at all because I'm doing this in. I want to add something over. I think I will go for the music paper because it's tall enough. So let me quickly, I should have covered it before I punched the holes, but yeah, I didn't. Because over here, I'm going to add the music sheet. Like so. Cut this, and this is a little bit too wide. And also this doesn't need to be perfect at all, because you're not seeing that on the back side. Obviously I need to repunch because I'm gluing this over now. Okay, let me quickly punch these again. Yeah, I can still see this one, so it's going to be okay. And I'm going to do the same on the other side. So I did the punching on both the sides, and now this can go in here. And obviously I still need to punch in the journal too, but I always do it like this. First I need to ink a little over here. Well, I'm going to ink a little heavy. Which I like. So I have this. And now at the back side, and I told you this in the previous video, I have this sport tape. This is just sport tape that I bought at, well, the local store, the Action. Well, it's a European chain, I think. And this has like a fabric texture like linen. It has a nice texture. Sorry. And I'm just going to put this on here. Just to make it more, well, reinforced. And I'm also going to tape this on the outside. And like I said, I am going to cover the outside spine. Just going to put this back in the box. Okay, now first I need to make sure this is sort of glued in exactly where I want it to be. I usually just try and do this. As long as I can do this, it is on the right spot. I'm just going to do this. So I'm going to add glue over here. And in the past I would have used a Fabric, but I don't have that anymore. So I'm just going to add this glue. Now I can glue this part. And there are easy ways to do this, but I do it like this. And when I'm gluing, I'm still checking to see if I can do this. So if it needs to be adjusted, I can adjust it. And if it's glued in, then you just have to leave it for a while to dry, of course. And then we can work from there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these like so. Punch holes, put eyelets in. That's what I'm going to do. I think I will punch the holes already because the eyelets will also help bring down the glue. Obviously I need to see if I can punch with this punch, if it's not too thick. Yes, this can work. Because I also have the crocodile, the big bite. Sorry, this is also crocodile, but I also have the big bite. So we have these three. And I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. So now comes the challenge. That is finding eyelets that can go through the whole, all the layers, which probably will not happen. Especially when I use the ones that I want to use. I know I have, where are these? These. Because not every eyelet has the same length. But what I sometimes do, let me see if I can do that with this one. I did this in the past. But my goal is to have the eyelet on the inside, and if the eyelet doesn't pop out on the outside, I'm not too much, I'm not worried at all, because I'm going to cover the spine. As long as it holds. It needs to be holding stuff, otherwise it will not work. Obviously I need 6 of these. I'm going to get them over here. You can also not put eyelets in. I did this in the past when I didn't have eyelets yet, or I had the eyelets but not a good eyelet setter, which was a real struggle. And what I did was to make the hole like able to slide the elastic through, I did use clear nail polish, and I just went in, well, I polished over the holes and also on the inside, so there would be a layer, and I left it to dry for a day. Usually I did it at the end before I stopped crafting, and then the next day I would put in the elastic, and then it would went through the holes a little bit smoother. But yeah, obviously having eyelets is such a game changer for me. I need to close the glue. Okay, I have to, because every time my phone is, and I switched off the sound. Oh, I did not. I set it on, well, what you can hear now. So I'm just going to put in the eyelets, and I'm going to set these, and I'm going to squeeze them as well as far as possible. They do come out at the end, but not pretty, but it doesn't matter because I'm going to cover that part up. So I am going to cover the elastic over there, if that makes sense. I also did elastic bindings, and then I had all buttons over the elastic. I have a whole video series about creating a rose. It's the romantic rose journal. And that was before I knew how to edit. So those videos were extremely long, but it is taking you to the process of creating a journal with a elastic spine binding, with decorating with buttons and beads. So if you are interested in that, just check for the playlist Romantic Rose. And there you see me create the whole journal from beginning to the end. And I also have a flip through of the journal. And the Romantic Rose, I think that was one of my first kits that I created. And I've been thinking about taking that one out of the shop. Because, yeah, obviously it's the oldest one I have. I developed as a creator. And yeah, there's a difference, but I still like that kit a lot, so I'm going to leave it in. Oh, I can punch a little bit more. I'm breaking my wrist, but yeah, the eyelet goes in a little more. You could also do this with the big bite, of course. Then you could really press with the whole body weight if you stand up and put the eyelet in. But I like this one much better to work with. So the eyelets are in. And now you have something like this. Obviously this looks terrible. I know. You could do several things. You could also, I'm just going to do it just to show you, but if you don't want to add too much to the outside, you could ink this. But yeah, it is going to show, of course. I'm just inking it so you could see that it is optional, and you can still see a little bit of the sewing, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I'm not going to do this. I want to cover it. But if you want to have like a simple thing, or you can even use a, how is it called? A stencil, and use ink and make a pretty pattern on this. So cover up the fabric. And if you do want the elastic to go over here with the button accessories, then you could still use this as I do now. But I'm going to cover it. I need to think about that before I put in the elastic, because you can also put on like lace, and laces sometimes have holes, so you can pull the elastic through those holes and glue it on. Let me check if I have lace to fit on here. I found this piece. This could work. Although I don't want this piece because it's folded over here. So I'm just going to cut this and use it in something else. Just a little longer than I actually need. Okay, let's say I put this on. Let me get some elastic. I'm using black elastic. It is not the thinnest elastic, to be honest. It's rather thick. But yeah, we will see. would have it on something like this. Okay, there are several ways to put on your elastic. I'm just going to try and show you the ways you can do it. So you go in the middle and then come out from the back to the front. Let me just first show you the ways to put in elastic. I'm not sure how I'm going to put it in. So I'm just figuring out what I need to do now. I think I know that I'm not going to take them out of the lace. I'm just going to cover the elastic binding with the lace. That's what I'm going to do. Sorry. And now I just need to cut a piece. Otherwise it's too long. This one is going in here. And obviously now I need to figure out how I'm going to do this. Because this needs to go here. And then it needs to go up. Like so. And that way you only have 2 pieces at the end instead of all the pieces over here, if that makes sense. Okay, I have this one. I'm just going to create some tension. And what I usually do is it's not working. Something like this. So it's sort of in the middle now. Still need to check the tension. Tension is very important. If it's too tight, you can't put the pages in and out, and if it's too, well, and there's no way to tell you how tight or how loose it should be. Obviously my elastic is way too long. I'm going to cut this piece. And I'm not making a knot already because I obviously will, well, not obviously, but I'm going to cover the spine part when I know for sure that the elastic is on the right tension. Before that, I will not do that. When I'm finished, obviously this will be much shorter, and I'm going to cover this with this, and maybe I'm going to sew over a strip or put this on a piece of cardstock and then glue it over this part. There are tricks to glue this together so it still can move a little. I can show you when I do that, but obviously not now because I need this to be adjustable. This is always the hardest part because the minute I start to tie the bow, it loses tension. But let's see. I have the 3 signatures. Here comes the tricky part also. I'm not sure if it will fit underneath. maybe it's too high. We will see. Lucky me. I didn't measure that. Obviously, when you make the cover, you should measure that your elastic can go in and your papers can go in underneath the elastic, in between the eyelets. So this has to be tall enough. If I had put the eyelet over here, the elastic would go over the paper and it would ruin the paper in here. And the reason I know that, because I have done that several times. But I always manage to fix it. This one is a little bit loose. The third one. But maybe. And what I like about the elastic binding, that it lays very flat, because it's sort of a waterfall. Because this piece is shorter, the second piece sticks out a little bit more, and the third signature sticks out even more, as you can see. But I think this can work. Maybe I will take out a few papers when I'm working on the journal, embellishing it, putting in pockets. If it starts to get too bulky, you can always take out some of the papers, because this is really a thick piece of paper. Maybe I'm going to take that piece out. Well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to take it out because it's very sturdy. That gives already a little bit of room. Yeah, that works best. So now we have the binding, as you can see over here. I did tie it in a bow. I'm not certain about the tension. It has to make the right snap. I can't explain it to you. This one is actually, I thought this was loose, but it's actually tight, so it's okay. So yeah, this is it. And what it does, it makes the journal lace, I don't know how to explain, but usually the journal, if you lay it flat, it goes like this, but this stays a little bit open, which is okay, because we are going to fill it with pieces of ephemera and such things, so it will be okay. And yeah, you can remove papers while you're working in it. Still need to figure out if this is not too tall. A trick when a paper is too tall, I'm going to use this one for example, is if you have a corner rounder. If you have a corner rounder like this and you punch this piece and this piece, you will create this, a little notch. That can also help you put in your papers better, so it fits better. I'm just going to show you. You see? Now it is a little lower. So I might do that on my journal papers too. I'm not sure yet. I will figure it out. What I am going to do is going to fold all the papers a little bit more, because the more you do this, the flatter they lay in the journal. Let's just do this with this one. And then put it back in. Now I'm also starting to think I need to round the corners, because I really like rounded corners. Yeah, and now you have this, and this can slide underneath. It does fit a little better, as you can see. So I think I will punch off the corners. If I fold every paper. I punched this one, this one, and this one, and this one. So I have punched rounded corners, sorry, over here, and on the inside too. But yeah, this is the video for today. The next one is going to be fun because we have to work on the cover a little bit more, decorate, think of a way to embellish this. But like I said, you can do this at the end. And then I have to think about, do I want to add pockets on here? And I also have to cut out all the elements from the papers. I haven't done that yet. But yeah, let the fun begin. I'm also not very sure about this piece. I don't know yet. Although you can create pretty fun pockets with these. If you sew these on, then you can slide in tags. So I'm going to leave them for now. But yeah, this is the video for today. Creating the actual elastic binding without measuring. And yes, it's not 100% perfect, of course, because I did a lot of eyeballing. But for me it works, and it's the easiest way to create a journal with elastic binding for me. So I hope I was able to teach you something new, or to be able to inspire you. So maybe you can do it a little bit different. If you like the video, maybe want to leave a thumbs up. If you like it a lot, maybe you also want to leave me a comment. And if you're not subscribed to my channel, maybe you want to be a subscriber. Yeah, my goal was to reach I think 9K at the end of the year, but I'm not going to I'm not going to be there at the end of the year, but it doesn't matter really. I'm here for the fun. But yeah, if I gain some new subscribers, that would really mean a lot to me. So you're welcome to subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and for me it makes all the difference in the world. Well, this is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you on the next video. Stay safe, stay creative. Greetings from the Netherlands. Bye bye. Bye.